Hello everyone, this is Tug. Welcome to a new series here on the channel about showcasing and reviewing custom maps for Ravenfield, specifically the less popular ones that sneak under people's radars. These videos will contain gameplay, thoughts and opinions, and are supposed to highlight the map in general and point viewers towards some hidden gems on the Ravenfield workshop. With all that said, let's get into our first ever map showcase here on the channel. This is Desert Combat, a medium-sized in-game editor map with 12 capture points spread out across a classic 3-lane design. There's jeeps, quads, and a couple of helicopters. This map has several buildings with interiors that branch off the main road, as well as a few rooftops that you can climb on top of and snipe behind cover or take down enemy vehicles. With so much going on in a relatively smaller space, this map feels way larger than it actually is, resulting in combat that plays like Insurgency at some points. The author recommends 50 to 100 bots, which I agree is a fair range in this case. So let's go ahead and talk about the visuals. What do you see when you first drop in? What is the atmosphere like, and does it look good? Unlike other in-game editor maps on the Ravenfield workshop, I didn't actually realize everything was made with the in-game editor until after playing it for a little while, which is a really good thing. Due to the unavailability of custom assets in the editor, map makers are forced to improvise if they want to build anything of their own, and the creator of Desert Combat has done a very good job with straying away from that blocky, rehashed in-game editor appearance. Though the visuals are still not on par with most Unity-made projects, it's above average given the circumstances. As for the atmosphere, there's not a whole lot to say. It's similar to vanilla Ravenfield, real-time lighting with nothing too crazy going on, a default skybox. It's basic, but it works for this particular map. Now it's time to discuss gameplay. At the beginning of each match, eagles spawn in a few spread out locations with more flags, while ravens spawn bunched up on a rooftop, and they eventually disperse into a few different capture points. The height difference at the start allows both teams to take some pot shots at each other, but if you're stealthy enough, you can hop in a vehicle and capture some flags early. Although the action begins within the first 10 seconds, both teams still have enough cover and enough time to spread out before they clash in the center. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really matter what guns you bring to this fight. They're going to work, I promise. Most firefights, which take place in the streets down low, are medium range. There's a nice balance though between distances, mainly because there's plenty of rooftops on the battlefield that will give you those longer view distances that are nice for snipers, as well as some tightly packed close quarters areas where you can bring submachine guns and shotguns and all that. One area in particular is the mosque, where one of the neutral flags is located, and the outdoor flag that's directly across the street. If you're looking for CQB action in this map, it's definitely here, but usually only at those aforementioned locations. Alright, so let's categorize things into a pros and cons list. So for Desert Combat, here are the pros. We have properly used vehicles. I never felt like any of the vehicles, the quads or the jeeps, were out of place or misused. I think they fit very nicely and they tie into the overall aesthetic for the whole map. We have versatile gunplay. I never felt at any point when choosing my class that choosing one gun over the other is going to give me a bigger disadvantage when fighting on this map. And then next, there's plenty of capture points. You're not going to ever feel like you're cornered by the enemy team because you only have one capture point in this area. There's a total of 12 capture points and there are plenty of different routes to access each of them. You have long point matches, and then finally, the map isn't too big, but it's also not too small. It is just the right size. And then for the cons, there's really only two obvious ones that stick out to me here, and that is performance issues, which is something that you're going to get with in-game editor maps most of the time, so I don't really blame the author here, but looking out into the distance, you will get some lag most of the time, depending on your PC. And then the second con is unbalanced spawns. Eagles spawn with a lot more capture points than the ravens do, and of course this can be fixed by configuring flags in the instant action menu, but it's just something that you need to know going into this map. With all that said, if you're a fan of the whole Middle Eastern combat aesthetic, or if you've spent hours on other Ravenfield maps like Revolt or Desert Ruins, then there's a pretty good chance you'll feel at home when playing this map. I'm gonna go ahead and give this map a happy tugboat. I think it's pretty good. And of course, if you want to check it out for yourself, the link is in the description below. Be sure to subscribe and stick around for more showcases in the future. And I'll see you all again very soon. Goodbye.